I have seen a lot of posts from people that are talking about starvation in Gaza and blaming Israel for it. Israel is airdropping food into Gaza, and also they have partnered with the United States to create the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation that has distributed 100 million meals to the people of Gaza. And Hamas hates this because if they don't control the food, then they can't torture their people. They can't skim off the top. They can't pay their workers by selling the food for 10 times the price to the civilians who live there. And while we're talking about starvation, Hamas released a video of one of the living hostages, Rom Bravlaski, who is dying of starvation, and he literally says, I have run out of food, I have run out of something to drink. He is clearly in a very bad mental state and physical state. You can see that he is being starved. Hamas proudly released this with dramatic music in the background to show what a bad situation he's in, but they could just release him. They could just release him and all of the 49 other hostages. People don't care about his starvation. I know that there are 50 hostages, and people like to compare numbers with all the people in the civilians in Gaza, but the fact of the matter is, if those 50 hostages were released and allowed to go home and Hamas surrendered, nobody would be suffering. All of this would be over. The Arab countries understand this. Hamas has convinced the Western countries, 20-something who are calling for a Palestinian state while there are still hostages being held in Gaza. Meanwhile, 22 Arab countries are calling for Hamas to surrender. They know something that the Western countries don't know. Also, I was arguing with somebody online who said that he wanted to have a phone conversation. I was very, very happy about that. Gave him my phone number. Then he said he didn't want to talk to me anymore. All this stuff about, the IDF. If there was no IDF, Israel would be annihilated, okay? It's a defensive army. Every country, nobody questions the army of any country except for Israel, and that is Jew hatred, okay? Let's call it out where it is. I'm open to having especially personal one-on-one conversations with people who want to get out of their echo chamber. Let's get back to a place where we could talk to each other, where we're hearing each other, where you're not just hearing the same Hamas propaganda over and over and over and over again. Maybe talk to people who have lived here. I'm back in Israel, but I've lived here in the 90s during the Intifada. And for as long as I can remember, even at age 16, when I went to the West Bank, they were telling me that they don't have good roads because of Israel. It's always been because of Israel. I've heard the starvation narrative before. There's never a responsibility taken. Look what we did. Look what we can do. They can do a lot. They did October 7th. They have a lot of capabilities to do big things. So instead of repeating their narratives, call for the hostages to come home so that the war can finally end.